Hmm. All right. I see your doorway. Um, your door is quite beautiful. Like it's not like an ornate doorway. It doesn't have images or anything on it or patterns. What I see is kind of more shimmery. It's like a sparkly diamond ring kind of look. The lots of shine, lots of um warmth coming from it. So your soul has when I see that, it's like your soul is constantly comes into life um to not only shine but uplift others with your own warmth, whether there's been some trauma in that lifetime or not. You still have this like baseline personality of I'm going to uplift you. I am the supporter. um, Not only do I support others, I'm also an example of how to support myself. All right, so I'm opening the door. There's almost a little bit of a resistance. Um, it's definitely like you pretty got some pretty solid boundaries, um, which is good. And it's just letting me pass through the boundaries. So you're pretty good at like protecting your energy, which is part of that taking care of yourself, right? I'm just seeing where I'm being taken first. I'm actually look like I'm being walked outdoors. Like I went down these staircases and there's this whole field of just information, but they had me turn around and under the staircase was a doorway that takes me straight outside. And I see like meadows, a big lake, forested area. So I'm not sure if that's what your new property looks like. Um, I know you said like there was some train tracks near yours, but this doesn't have any train tracks. It's just expansive, so expansive and so warm. I'm feeling the sun. I'm hearing the birds. I'm hearing the water move, flow, the waves. And it's like I see this like picnic blanket. The red and white checkered picnic blanket, the basket and everything. So when I open this basket, it's just a pure bounty of your favorite things. And I'm not just talking about food and drink. I'm talking about, your favorite things in life that you've carried through. I see seashells. I see candlesticks that are all silver. I'm seeing little mementos that you've picked up along the way, and like your favorite hat, and just a huge bounty of things. So this shows me that first off, you've already had everything you've ever wanted. And then second, because this area is so expansive, it feels like this bounty that you already have, you are just surrounding it by even deeper beauty. And your wishes and dreams always come true in one form or another. Like they don't necessarily mean like um it comes true in the way you imagine them to come true, but as long as you just let this expanse stay empty without expectations, that bounty is just going to keep filling up and you're going to be so surprised. what it ends up looking like later on. So I definitely feel like this it relates to your new property that you're moving out to and the intentions you have around it. Um, I see that you do have a lot of expectations, but it's more like a checklist. It's like, okay, I got this checklist of things to do, X, Y, Z, so that we're all prepped, all ready. We can just move there and feel comfortable. And then after that, I get this sense of just letting the rest unfold. And that's really what your soul wants to remind you is that they see you in the way you let things unfold. You're not really the type of person that needs to control everything, you know? Um, there's obviously everyone has a sense of control they want to keep on top of. But you're the type of person that's like, all right, let's just have fun with this and see where it leads me, leads us, because I feel like you're going to be taking other people along with you, whether they live with you or they might as well live with you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like a sense of peacefulness coming for you. Um, that that's one of your wishes that you've had is just this beautiful sense of peace, of fulfillment. And right now it doesn't feel that way because so much is going on. It feels like a lot is in the air, but that's only temporary. Once you're out there and really settle in and stabilize, um, there'll definitely be a lot of work. I mean, obviously, there's always work when you have a new property, but you'll feel more fulfilled and even proud of yourself on a different level. I don't know. I just feel so peaceful. I almost want to take a nap. I'm like, this feels good. I'm just gonna take a nap here on the picnic, enjoy the sun, warm me up, all that good jazz. All right, I'm seeing where else they're taking me now. I think we're going back inside. You are so incredibly open-minded, and that's because of not only just like your character, your personality, um, but there's been other lifetimes, like I'm being brought to kind of like um, the industrial era, back in the late 1800s. You're in, I don't know, it kind of looks like maybe a English London type area where it's soot everywhere, there's dirt everywhere. There's that sense of transition from like, living one way and turning and living in another way because of technology. So you're right in the middle of that, which is kind of similar to now, actually. Because now we're in the digital age where we're transitioning from one type of state of living to the next, right? And just kind of in this transitory state. But that's what makes you comfortable is you seem to like to be in a transition state. There's no matter how stressful it feels at the time, it's like part of your soul's mission is to constantly be um, an energetic uplifter during transition, not only for yourself but others. So let me get back to this scene that you're showing me. I kind of feel shaky. Like there was oh, I see. Part of this transitory state, at least in that lifetime, is you were working so hard. You were working in a factory, just learning these new textiles and equipment that just got invented. But you are, or you have a tendency at that time to numb yourself, maybe with substances. And that was part of the challenge in at that time, is from transitioning from numbing yourself with substances to feeling it all. Um, and ever since you started feeling everything in that lifetime, your lifetime now, and then moving forward, you have chosen not to stay in a numbed type of feeling, whether it's substances or just pushing stuff away, like, oh, that doesn't matter, it's not real, or I don't want it to be real, things like that, the avoidance of it. And I feel like ever since that lifetime, like I see things kind of brightening up for you, at least like your complexion, your male at that time, um, much more healthy. It's like you constantly, from that lifetime forward, are not interested in numbing yourself. You're available to feel it. You're available to feel it for yourself. You're available to feel it for others. You're available to hold space for others because you know what it feels like. Um, and that's a special thing. That's something that's hard to do, um, because a lot of people are having to revisit that karma of, okay, I can't handle this. This is getting a little intense. So I'm just going to numb myself out and, um, pretend like it's not going on. And I'm not talking about like end of the day, relaxing, watching a show and going to bed. That's something different. That's the whole, winding down process. I'm talking about like as soon as you wake up, you're like, you were on top of the substances, drinking a lot, having accidents at the factory, and you told yourself, promised yourself. It was almost like you bargained with God that once I finish this substance, I will never go back, and that includes other lifetimes. So I'm not sure if that was ever a story in this lifetime and you've gotten through it. Um, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you've because you've let let go of that substance energy and moved a sense of I'm okay to feel it, is also something that is helped keep your mind open. When you feel things and are able to see other people's feelings, that it's like you automatically see the big picture. A lot of people are scared of their emotions, but our emotions are actually like a compass. They're our compass, and I think subconsciously you definitely understand that. Like, okay, this feels good, so that means it's pointing north, and I go north. This doesn't feel so good. This means it's pointing south. My intention was to go north, so I'm going to figure out how to switch things around. And yeah, that's a very good skill to have, especially right out of the gate. And that's one of the reasons why you like to make people feel good, because you're an example. You're inspiring people to continue to move towards their North Star. All right, I'm being brought down into this road. Um, There doesn't seem anything too special about this road. So when I see that, when it's just kind of like a path, a road that you can walk forward, backwards, side to side, there's actually no such thing as direction in an Akashic room. Um, but when I see that, that's showing me that your soul's experience has been pretty streamlined. There's challenges, no doubt about that. But that's kind of when you're like, oh, I'm going to scooch down this path and see what's down here. Whether it's a lesson to learn or a challenge to move through, find a stage of acceptance or forgiving or whatnot. Um, and so it's like you appreciate that your path has always been pretty clear, clear cut, and because it's been like that, that gives you the opportunity to take these side roads, to experience new things, to learn different lessons, to, maybe close out the door here and move on to the next one because this road looks like it's got an open door. And even though you're taking these side roads, it does not mean you're off your path whatsoever. So that's a beautiful thing. And I'm just allowing myself to be brought down one of these roads here. Um, I'm seeing like a gym, like um, like gymnastics type of gym, and there's a bunch of girls that are doing their, twirling and whatnot, and I see you as an instructor there. Um, I feel like this this wasn't a past life. It's kind of like your soul story of the way you teach others, but you teach others with body. You're like, this is how you can use your body so that you can move better, you can feel better about yourself and your skills. And so that definitely relates to being a yoga instructor. Um, and I'm just seeing what they're wanting to tell me about this more. There was like a lot of influence over you, or that's what it feels like. Like I see other instructors in the area that that seem to either have had influence over you or want to influence you. And what I see is you have turned towards me, and it's like you have this mask on. It's like when you're working with people and their body movements and stuff, you almost have to have this mask on so that the people who try to influence you are can't get to the real you, the real core of you. And that's showing me um, a form of your boundaries. So, what your higher self is trying to say is go ahead and take that mask off. And instead of letting anyone influence you, you be the influencer. Um, you have the skill set, the knowledge, the experience where you can just, sorry, meant to be a clearing there. Um, yeah, you have all of that. You have the whole umbrella, right? We talked about that before. This umbrella of all the experiences, all the knowledge, all the sensations and the feelings and the know-how and all this stuff. And you have every right to be the leader. And so your higher self is saying that you are already a leader. It's just time for you to really put that hat on and be the influencer yourself. So I'm hearing like um, you could start a YouTube channel Not necessarily to make money or anything. It's more about helping others, people who don't have access to your classes. You can have, a homesteading YouTube channel, or you can have the yoga YouTube channel, or a circus YouTube channel. It doesn't matter. They're wanting you to consider to do that so you can practice your leadership skills. And it doesn't matter, how many followers or whatnot you got about that. It's about you um, really stepping into that frame of mind for yourself. Because most of life really is about ourselves. We experience life on our own. We may have people around us. We may have things to do, places to be, people to see, um, but our life is really our own. It's our own experience. And 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 it feels like you might need a reminder of that from time to time, that you do so much for other people, and not necessarily in the physical, but like I was talking about, like helping them with their emotional state when you're acting and enjoying time with your colleagues in the circus. You're giving people a different frame of mind, a different sense of emotions. And even though it's your experience, they're having their own. And did you want to speak up? Say anything? No? Okay. Um, it's almost like so much is coming so fast that I'm like, hold on, slow down, let's pull this apart. Anyway, reminding you that the life experience is very individualized, and to don't forget about that, because sometimes there's a lot of external um, influence, pressure, whatnot, and you don't have to take all that on. It's more about you holding on to yourself, which I think you do really well already, because you have a plan. When you have a plan, you generally hold on to that much better. But your higher self just wants to remind you that life is not actually outside of you. That's just experiencing life. That's just the static, of life. But the reality of life is all inside. All right, I'm seeing where else they're taking me. Actually, we're staying right here in the gym area, or what it seems to be a gym. And it's like you approach people individually. There's a sense of, as you are teaching, you also interact with people individually, so that if they're confused, or if they need a little extra help, or even if you're like, yeah, you're doing it perfect, thank you, as part of that being a teacher sense. And then your students turn around and start teaching others. So that's beautiful. You have the skill set and the influence enough to teach others, for them to become teachers themselves, which is beautiful, because that's what we want. We want an expansion. And you are definitely a core piece of just the individual human expansion. All right, let's see where else I'm going now. I'm feeling a lot of movement in my throat area. Um, it's like my throat and my mind. So when I'm feeling this, there's a sense of like, okay, there's a lot going on. There's many places to focus. Um, and the multitasking is, um, it's not quite overwhelming. It's like you got it all handled. So if you're ever concerned about having too much on your plate, understand that you actually have the capacity to handle it all. A lot of people need to, like, if they got a lot on their plate, need to just be like, okay, I'll do one thing at a time, do another thing at a time, do another thing at a time, and complete each project. You have this ability to be able to multitask and take on everything almost at once. It's like you unconsciously map out your day where you like do a little bit at a time for each thing, and by the end of the week you see the product of it, right? um and so that's how you've mapped out your life, and we talked about that with your umbrella effect. Is, you have these big picture ideas and you've mapped out everything. I feel most of it's subconscious, but you naturally just move with your intuition, and that's what you're doing. I do hear um, your subconscious saying, "Don't worry about it." So I don't know if you had like a question on your mind or a thought. Um, there's a sense that, like, to not worry about it, everything will fall into place. You are doing your co-creative work by doing those little bits at a time, and the universe sees that. So, so just kind of let go of the expectations around it, let go of what it'll look like on the end, because things will end up working out exactly how you need them to, or whatever your fate is. Um, you feel like, I feel like been a lot of fateful moments for you. And I'm not sure you recognize that, where it's just like, you're like, wow, that feels like that was meant to be in some way, even if it was like a small interaction or a gift, or maybe even item you had that you've been holding on to for a while. And you're like, you know what, this person is supposed to have this. And that's a piece of fate as well, is your interacting with someone else's fate, because every little bit does compound into the bigger picture. Huh. You know what's interesting? I almost feel like I'm being pushed back to the door. Like it's like we're pushing you out. It's does that make sense? Yeah, I kind of feel like there's a push out happening. Um, it's been, besides the outdoor area, the rest of it is feels like it's kind of hard to get to. Um, this is interesting. This is the first time I've ever run into this. So I don't know if there's a sense of resistance, or you have so much um boundaries around you that maybe it is hard for some people to get to know the real you. I don't know if anyone's ever mentioned that to you, or said anything, because I don't feel like they have, because you are a pretty friendly person. You're pretty open. You're available to others. Um, but there's still a sense of like holding at arm's length, because maybe if you don't hold people at arm's length, then the stuff on your plate is either going to pile up higher, or you're going to get distracted too much and not get your stuff done, right? I kind of see you nodding your head right there. You're like, yep, I, I hear that. Especially since you have so much. Yeah, I kind of feel like it's a good place to stop the reading because I keep getting pushed back to the door. Um, is there anything you want to mention there?
Yeah, a lot of food for thought. I feel like some things you said were pretty insightful.
Hmm.
Um, and maybe like not as much. Maybe some of it might be some past life stuff. Some of it might be in this life past stuff that you're picking up on too.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe the thing about being guarded about my true self comes from being hurt or being afraid to be hurt again. And also maybe, there's a lot of things about putting on masks and playing roles and characters that you can get lost in that. And sometimes that makes it harder to know your own true self.
Mm.
So some of that kind of stuff came up.
Hmm.
Also, like being that some of this is reminder of what I already am aware of, but like what's stopping me, what's the stumbling block
Hmm.
that's keeping me from being, more successful at what I do.
Hmm.
Um, because it's not for lack of hard work or ideas or, you know, I, I mean, there's just something that stops me, and I think self-doubt is a big one, and probably a little bit of even self-sabotage, and just there's definitely things about me that stop me from
Hmm.
getting where I want to be, I guess. Whether you call that achieving goals or being successful or whatever.
Hmm.
I get in my own way a lot.
Um, that's natural. That's human, honestly. We all do that in one or a lot of areas of our lives. So definitely don't, feel bad about that or guilty about that at all. Because it's just one of those hurdles that, like stepping off the path right there is that's one of your hurdles you're working through. But at the same time, there still feels like a sense that even if you don't feel like things have come to fruition now, you're still working through it. You're still doing little bits at a time. And because you have the resilience, and knowing this from experience, being so hurt and devastated by something, um, there's one of two things that could happen. One, you just hide, you're done with life. You expect things to just go bad over and over and over and over and over, and so that's all you see. But you feel like you're one of those people that that stepped into that second option of maintaining your resiliency and maintaining a sense of self, versus constantly, and that's where a lot of times the masks come from, is because of, I am here protecting self-preservation and understanding myself. So very introspective in that sense. And then also well, not they, your subconscious wanted to remind you that those little steps you take every day are actually part of the co-creation process. And the universe is watching, and they know what you've done. They know what your wishes are. They know of the beautiful good intentions you have for yourself, your family, for others, and even the nature. That's one of the biggest things about you is your love for nature, is your love for Mother Earth. And the universe sees that, whether you're feeling that right now or not. Um, I'm asking about the sense of self sabotage. what um what is in there. So just so you know, I'm out of your room, um and close the door already. You know what? What's interesting is I kind of feel like I need to pull out some cards real quick for you. So these cards are called what's the vibe? What's the vibe? So this pretty cool deck. Let's see. Let me ask about these. Actually, I'm gonna move this out of the way so I don't knock it over. One wants to come out. Okay. So there's three of them that really came out. First one is daydreaming. It says head in the clouds, delusions, hopes, and dreams. And what's interesting is it came right next to the legal one. So lawyers, court, paperwork, and I'm assuming you're still working through a lot of paperwork for your property and whatnot. And so when I'm seeing these two together, it feels like it's definitely contradicting energy, right? Um, daydreaming versus paperwork, basically. But they actually go together. And your higher self is like, that's part of the don't worry about it. Remember I said they were saying, don't worry about it? All this is going to come to fruition, the legal stuff, because you have these dreams, you have these intentions, and you're co-creating with the universe. And then the other thing that came out is, I hope you can see that, feminine energy. So gentleness, nourishing, mothering. Um, Feeling like this one, this is definitely that sense of pushing your energy outwards, right? Um, let's see what the top. Yeah, pushing your energy outwards and mothering everyone else and not really nurturing yourself as much. So definitely get on board with that more so than nurturing others. Um, Obviously, your family, your family is like your outer ring. You know how you have, if you think of life as like a concentric rings, you're always the big one in the middle. So make sure that you're picking yourself first, um, your wants, your wishes. And even if it feels like maybe you're sabotaging a situation, that's part of the fatefulness that is very prominent in your life. Like the reason why maybe you sabotage something is your subconscious is like, hey, either A, it's not the time, timing's not right, and so you're just acting out of your subconscious, or B, of course, you're moving through healing from challenges from before. But still, because you're healing, there's also that timing aspect. If you don't feel comfortable or healed through something, then your subconscious is going to put the brakes on, and that's okay. And the card, I wanted to get a clarifying card on this feminine energy. I got recharge.
Mm.
Breathe, let go, clear your mind. Are you giving your space to recharge?
Yeah, I need that.
You
Hmm.
need, okay. So definitely fit that. It's like you have your plate of things to do. Imagine the word recharge is now put on your plate.
Yeah, yeah, I got to plug in.
You gotta plug into yourself. So, whatever feels good for self-care, whether it's like taking a beautiful bath or whatever, writing in a journal just to get the stuff out of your head on paper and away from you. And that'll be helpful because when you look back on that, the YouTube channel as well, um, I mean, you don't even have to publish anything. It's just more about getting it out there. Um, that's where your leadership, the sense of leadership, is going to start blossoming. And that's because you are expressing your own personal free will. You are tapping back into that sense of the divine feminine in you because you've been really kind of in that divine masculine energy because you've had so much to do, right? And when you stop and recharge and reconnect with your body, that's where you're like, oh, yeah, I'm a hot woman, you know? So, yeah. Um, I think that's probably the main message for you today is, remembering that you have really good intentions. You understand what emotions are and that it's actually a compass. And for you, because you've had kind of some traumatic stuff in your past, when you start having those feelings again, your compass is pointing the wrong way. So you walk away and you're like, okay, I'm done. Or there's a sense of it, there's some sabotage in there, but that's also your subconscious um, helping you with that self-preservation and that reminding you that it's not the right timing. So don't ever feel like this sense of self-sabotaging is a wrong thing because usually it actually works out in your favor.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, and then also just recharge. That's the last thing. So I think even though like we cut it kind of short, there was definitely enough for you to work with.
Hmm.
How you feeling?
Oh boy. The funny thing about the expression "the work cut out for you" is that it can be taken two ways. Like some people feel that it means your work's cut out for you. You've got a lot of work ahead, which is the way I've always taken the expression. But some people say if your work's already cut out for you, then half the work's done. So it's going to be easy. See?
Hmm. Well, for you have so much on your plate. And the reason why um that work's all cut out for you is because in a way it is 50-50. You got the universe there working 50% for you. And even though in the human life you're like, oh my God, that some days I just want to collapse, right? And other days you're like, gung ho, got the energy.
Yeah.
Um, so I wouldn't really worry about the definition of that because you're moving through it at the right pace, doing the right things, even if it doesn't feel like it. Okay. And
Well, or it just feels like it. It feels like I'm doing all the things, like every day doing all the things, and it just feels like my wheels are spinning in the mud. It just feels like I just work so hard, the paycheck comes and it's already spent. And for example, I had, it's
touche.
like I've got my neighbors, I've got the city, I've got the county and the highway department, I've got my landlord, and that's what the legal and court stuff is
Hmm.
all those different forces of bureaucracy and government are trying to tell me what I can and can't do. And I'm like, look, I'm just trying to get by here. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to break any laws. I just, have
Hmm.
very simple goals. And I feel like under attack by all these giant forces that are much more powerful than me. And I'm just this little woman over here going, come on, guys,
Um,
break here, you know. So it's
that's
really interesting.
that makes sense now. That's where that image of you being at like a gymnasium and people trying to constantly influence you. That makes perfect sense now.
Well, I mean,
It's
the gym too is very central, and there's also like, I mean, I've taught in gyms, I've worked in gyms, I've gone to gyms, I spend a lot of my time in gyms,
mhm.
but for the last year, I've been paying for, or at least since last spring, yeah, almost a year, I've been paying for my gym membership, and I haven't gone because I've got all this other shit I'm doing. I like
Yeah.
haven't even gone to go soak in the hot tub, which I could anytime I want, and I pay for that privilege, and I
Uh-huh.
haven't even gone. And that's been like every day I go, gosh, I could really use a soak. Oh no, not today, too busy. Every single day. And like there's this sandwich I really like at this convenience store. And I just realized that almost every time I get off work, I've thought to myself, I could go get that sandwich. I'm hungry. I really like that sandwich. And it's been a year that I have not bought the sandwich because it's like, too expensive and I have to buy something cheaper. And it's like a year of waiting for the sandwich and waiting for the soaking in the hot water, simple little things. And it's like, oh my God. And I still can't pay the $20 ticket, and I have
Yeah.
to. I can't not pay it. I mean, I have to pay it. But the thing is that I know I shouldn't tell myself I can't, and I know I can afford, and it's just a juggling thing. But I'm also like just borrowed a whole bunch more money to shift a bunch of debt to lower interest because my interest
Yeah.
payments were killing me. So it's like I need to really figure out really fast a way that I can get more income, or I won't have my head above water, and I won't have all these problems that I have right now because I'll have new problem of being homeless.
Yeah, I hear you. Have you considered just getting like a short-term part-time job just to kind of get you above water while the rest falls into place?
Oh, well, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not
Okay.
working. I mean, I'm absolutely not working. I'm working
Okay.
so much, but the thing is, and I just got a raise yesterday, so hallelujah. But a 50-cent raise when you're getting minimum wage, you
Yeah.
know.
It only goes so far. I get you there. Um, what was the other thing that popped in? There's your subscription to the gym. Is there like a day fee? Like if you just pay to go in for just a soak whenever you can and then be able to cancel your subscription?
Yeah, I mean that would make sense for me, but it
Mm,
would also make sense for me to like
just
prioritize
go.
that self-care and just go because then I
Yeah.
can have all the other benefits that I would get if I was doing that. And also if I was teaching in a place that included, that membership like I used to have. I used to be able to
Uh-huh.
use a sauna and whenever I wanted and use the gym whenever I wanted. It was all just at my work. So having that in place again would be really ideal. And having this guy call me and tell me I got the job I applied for last week would also be ideal. Uh, and
Well,
have
we'll just.
and finding my lost telephone that I haven't seen for 2 weeks
Oh
um,
no.
would also be ideal.
I'm-
And I don't
We're
mean
just
cell
gonna.
phone; I mean my landline.
Yeah, we're just gonna throw all that up and say, "Oh my God, okay, it's in the hands of God." Uh, we're ready for blessings at the same time.
Yeah. And I do count my blessings. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff going on in my life. I'm going to have practice today. I was,
Oh,
this was
yay.
really, this was really good. I've got a yoga class later today that's with the woman I'm going to be subbing for, so I can kind of learn her style, how she does the class. She's going to hand me this big old thing of keys, which a long time ago I was meditating and someone like the universe handed me like this big giant key ring full of keys. It was like a really like palpable thing. Like I could feel the weight and the cold of the keys being put in my hand, and there was this bright light. It was like, here you go. You're being handed all these keys. And it's like, wow, all these opportunities, all these doors opening. But what it also turned out to be was all this responsibility. And I'll show you like how
Yeah,
this
this is so
one way this
true.
is manifested in my life. Let me show you this.
Okay.
And look at this now, okay? Okay, watch. Can you see this coming down? Is it coming down?
No.
I have to take my background out. Or I'll
Okay.
just hold it in front of myself here. Okay, so here it is coming down. Ready? I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
here.
not seeing you.
Okay, I'm here. Here I am.
Oh,
Here come the keys. Okay, here they come.
holy
Here they
cow.
here. Come on, stay in picture. Here it goes. I don't know what it's like. It's confusing the focus now. Okay, now I'll do it again. So look at this. Okay, this is keys. This is keys. Okay, wait. This is keys. Okay, this is all keys. This is not all. This is not all of my keys. Okay, this is some of my keys. Okay, I got way more. So the universe, like showing up and the being trustworthy and security, it's all there, you know.
Yeah.
But the bank account, it's like, give me the key to this safe where they keep the gold bars, you know.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Ah,
So it's just a puzzle for me to figure out, and I did take notes on our session, and I got, like I say, a lot of food for thought, and I know something will come out of that too. So I really appreciate you taking the time. So you're using this, like you were saying, about like to market things, or what? Tell me the
um,
other half of the project.
it's just content for the YouTube channel. And
Oh,
you know, what I've noticed is there's like a lot of readers on YouTube, but no one does like actual live readings with people.
huh.
And what I've noticed is when I do live readings with people, other people are like, oh my gosh, I can relate to that because we are a collective, right?
Right.
And so it's not just for us, it's also for whoever is watching because they might get something out of it too. They might have some food for thought for themselves. And that's what we really want is for everyone to start becoming more introspective and learning how to love themselves more. Because when that happens, then society starts to change. And
Right.
and the
Ripples.
yes, exactly. So I'm just kind of doing my part. And this is kind of what spirit is like. We're pushing you into this. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really, really appreciate it. So, and
I
we can
appreciate
always,
you.
yeah, once you get through this gunk, you know, we can try this again and do it again and see what else comes up. You know, maybe let's call it 6 months to a year and see what's changed.
That would be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Okay. We'll do it. All
All
right,
right.
my dear. I'll let you run. Get to your plate of things.
Yeah.